it is section D1 from the table of specifications, Annex A of the PRB resolution number 3 series of 2004. Okay. So we will do government budgeting process. So we need an overview here. So at this point, iwanan muna natin yung barangay budget process kasi na at least you have understood the process. And then I would like you to look into the broader framework of government budgeting that will surely be included in your board exam. Hindi eksakto na ganyan yung pagka-frame ng mga questions, but at least you will understand the system. So it's highly relevant because Annex A expressly includes government budgeting processes under plan implementation, legal aspects, and plan administration and environmental planning, particularly under public sector management D 1.0. So this topic covers the laws governing public funds appropriation, expenditure versus financing, and the major budget concepts used in fiscal policy. So this gives us the four. Okay, just a moment. I'll just drink. Okay. So there are four major entry points into government budgeting. And first, we look at the laws governing public funds. And it said, okay, that public money is not treated like private money. So that's the framework. And it can only be collected, appropriated, spent, recorded, and audited according to law. So, and this is why we study 1987 Constitution, the Administrative Code, ganyan, di ba? So, ito, Constitution, Administrative Code. So, you take note, okay, of the EO 292. That's the Administrative Code. And then the PD 1445, Government Auditing Code. So, these are the legal foundations of budgeting, but we need to go first to the four. Okay. 1987 Constitution, it's the most important rule found in Article 6, Section 29. So let me write here. Article 6, Section 29. Parang ano, no? Naglolo tayo. Section 29. Which provides that no money shall be paid out of the treasury except in pursuance of an appropriation made by law. So relevant na yung mga controversies ano ng DPWH and other departments. So in simple terms, government cannot spend public money unless there's lawful appropriation. This is the constitutional basis of the entire budget process. So it said only Congress can authorize the use of public funds. Public officials are accountable. Then, so for the national government, the appropriation is usually through the GAA, di ba? GAA, General Appropriations Act. Tinatanong din ito sa exam. Kaya yan yung ine-enact ng Congress. It is enacted by Congress. But for local government units, including provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, the corresponding authority is an appropriation ordinance. Okay, GAA versus, hindi naman versus, but appropriation ordinance. Okay? Enacted by the proper sanggunian. So this distinction is important, especially after our discussion on barangay budgeting, di ba? And the principle is the same. And don't show me a citation na hindi naman yon. So there must be legal authority before public money is spent, but the approving body differs depending on the level of government. So the second foundation here is EO 292. So madali lang tandaan, ano? 292 or the Administrative Code of 1987. So those who are lawyers here, kapag may administrative, di ba ang title ng subject is Law on Public Officers and Administrative Laws. And the main reference is the Administrative Code of 1987. Administrative Code of 1987. So, it's an important legal basis for national government budgeting because Book 6 here governs national government budgeting rules and procedures, and it lays down the framework for how the national budget is prepared, authorized, executed, and accounted for. And third foundation is PD 1445, or the Government Auditing Code of the Philippines. And this law governs the audit and control of government funds. It reinforces the idea that public officials are accountable for the lawful, efficient, and proper use of public resources. So even if an item is budgeted, it must still comply with accounting, auditing, procurement, and disbursement rules. So that's what the PD is all about. And meron ding so we should also add that when the discussion shifts to local government budgeting, the relevant law is RA 7160. RA 7160. Okay, that for provinces, cities, and municipalities, DBM's Budget Operations Manual for LGUs 2023. I think there's a 2023 edition, which is the updated operational guide. And probably please remind me, Jen, so we can also provide all of them. The BM states that the 2023 manual provides the enhanced framework and approaches for local budgeting and is intended to guide LGUs in becoming more responsible and accountable for public funds. So now you have now that legal foundation, no? So, okay. So, the under appropriation. So, under the 1987 Constitution, no money shall be paid. Nakalagay dito. I think I mentioned already. No money shall be paid out of the treasury except in pursuance of an appropriation made by law. And this is the constitutional foundation, as I mentioned earlier, that at the national level, this authority is exercised by Congress, diba? Usually through the GIA. So, memorize na natin yon. So, power of Congress. Why power of it is power of Congress. It is accurate for for the national government, for LGUs, including barangays. Alam natin na appropriation ordinance yun under the local government code. So the principle is the same, but the approving body depends on the level of government. And so the key rule here is government funds cannot be spent unless covered by an appropriation law. This principle ensures that all public spending has express legal authority. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? No appropriation, no lawful spending. So, even if funds are available, di ba, paulit-ulit ako, I'm like parang sirang plaka, no? They cannot be disbursed unless there's an appropriation legally made for that purpose. So, and for local governments, the local government also requires certification that there is an existing appropriation obligation by the accountant and availability of funds before disbursement. So the purpose of appropriation is accountability. Appropriation laws uphold transparency and accountability in government budgeting. So they safeguard what? Public resources and guarantee that spending aligns with national priorities and protect against misuse of diversion of funds. Protect. So kapag meron tayong questions that are quite long and you gather, you group all those positive, di ba, statements that you know that redounds the purpose of why appropriation laws should be in place. So accountability and for accountability, it tells us three things. And first, how much money may be spent. Second, what money may be used for. And third, which office, program, project, or activity is authorized to use it. And this prevents the diversion of funds from one purpose to another without legal authority. And why we are even talking about this and why it was in the table of specifications in Annex A, because it's important for environmental planning field that, for example, a plan may identify roads, drainage, housing, waste management, DRR, blah, 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 climate adaptation, or any environmental project for this purpose. But these cannot be implemented unless they are supported by a lawful appropriation and a valid financing source. So in short, planning identifies priorities, but appropriation gives legal authority to fund them. So, yan, already mentioned about that, so no need to siguro alam you know what accountability means, audit transparency, and it is always pag tinatanong sa board na ano to, that public officials handle public money as trustees, diba? As trustees. So ibig sabihin they do not own the funds. And they are only authorized to manage and use them according to law, and funds are misused, diverted, or spent without authority or unsupported by proper documents, then the responsible officials may face administrative, civil, or even criminal liability. So, lahat yan baka tanungin yes or no, na will they only be charged administratively? The answer is no, because they can also be charged civil or even criminal liability if applicable, di ba? So, pag ang tinatanong naman sa board exam is mechanism and then audit. Audit is the mechanism that checks this accountability. Baka kasi ma-confuse kayo doon. The COA examines government transactions to determine whether expenditures are lawful, regular, necessary, reasonable, and properly supported. So, and that is why, yung sa audit aspect niya is the Constitution and still, of course, the audit code. So, and this is why even if a project is included in the budget, it must still pass accounting. It must still pass procurement, disbursement, and audit requirements. And lastly, transparency. It is still about accountability. Transparency is something that it becomes public, the public facing side of accountability. It means that government financial transactions, reports, and audit findings should be open. When you make it public, should be open to review, and that's about transparency. You have to connect that with transparency. So this allows, ibig sabihin, pag sinasabing transparency, this allows citizens to see whether public funds were actually used for public benefit. So in the context of barangays and LGUs, transparency is especially important because residents directly experience the results of local spending. And for environmental planners, it's relevant again because plans are implemented through public funds, diba? Mostly. And infrastructure, housing, waste management, lahat yung sinabi ko kanina, especially social services, all require budget support. So funding, but funding alone is not enough. The use of funds must be authorized, documented, implemented properly, reported, and audited. So accountability and audit complete the budget cycle, and they ensure that public funds are not only appropriated and spent, but also legally used and properly documented and answerable. And because of the virtue of transparency, and public officials should be answerable to the people. So, ano yung difference government expenditure and financing programs? Of course, expenditure. So we will read first the actual disbursement of government funds for the implementation of programs, projects, and services. This includes expenses such as salaries and wages, maintenance and operating costs, capital outlays for infra and social services. Expenditures reflect the government's priorities in delivering public goods and services. So it answers how is government money used. So it refers to the actual spending of public funds. Okay, so there, so nakalagay dyan yung mga salaries, etc. And so where does the government get money? Dito naman sa financing. So how is government money used? Where does the government get the money? So it refers to the source, ito, various sources, sources of funds that support government expenditures, right? So these sources may include taxes, fees, charge. Ang dami nun taxes, fees, charges, grants, donations, loans, borrowings, di ba? And other lawful revenues. So in other words, even if a project is important, the government must still identify a lawful and available source of financing before it can be implemented. So if a barangay wants to construct drainage, so or they want to buy rescue equipment or fund a solid waste management program, those are expenditures, but the source of money may come from the barangay's national tax allotment or local revenues or grant. It could be a grant, it could be a donation or other authorized funds, and that source is the financing side. So this distinction, why are we even trying to make a distinction between the two? Because it's important for environmental planning because plans do not implement themselves. A CLUP, CDP, AIP, DRRM plan, or any environmental management program must be connected to both sides. First, what will the government spend on? Second, where will the money come from? So a project that has no identified financing source may remain only a plan, while a fund that has no lawful appropriation cannot be spent. So it works mutually reinforcing. So for board exam purposes, so remember that simple distinction that expenditure is use of funds financing the source. And a good planner, that should understand both, because plan implementation depends not only on good project design, but also on lawful funding, on proper appropriation and accountable spending. So there are, nakita ko na nakalagay din ito sa TOS yung what are the types of budget concepts, may concept din pala, no? So, and a balanced budget. So we have to distinguish one from the other. That a balanced budget means that government revenues are equal to or greater than expenditures. So or sufficient to cover expenditures. So in the LGU setting, this is especially important because local governments, including barangays, are expected to prepare budgets within their available and estimated income. So in simple terms, an LGU should not appropriate more than what it can legally and realistically fund. This promotes fiscal discipline and prevents overspending. Okay? Prevent overspending and mandated for LGUs under the local government code. Now, a surplus budget. So ano yung pagkakaiba surplus? Revenues exceed expenditures, di ba? And this means the government has more resources than what it spends for the period. And a surplus may be used to build reserves, fund future projects, or pay obligations, so pay down debt, okay, or also or strengthen financial stability. However, in public budgeting, a surplus should not automatically mean money is idle. It may also indicate that some programs were delayed or that funds were not fully utilized, so it must be interpreted carefully. Okay, so sabi dito reflects to strong fiscal management and sustainability, but I've mentioned about there must be some underlying, hindi lang yung generic yung alam natin. Kasi baka the questions will be very, challenging or confusing, and it might ask a simple yes or no question. So, surplus. I would like to emphasize that surplus should not automatically mean money is idle. It may also indicate that some programs were delayed or that funds were not fully utilized, so it must be interpreted carefully. While a deficit budget happens, okay, when expenditures are greater than revenues. So this is more common in national government budgeting because the national government may finance deficits through borrowing, okay, bonds, or other authorized financing instruments. So for LGUs, however, deficit budgeting is generally not the normal rule because local budgets must be supported by available resources and lawful financing. So for environmental planning, these concepts matter because itong budget concepts, because every plan has a financial implication. If a city, municipality, or barangay wants to implement drainage, housing, solid waste management, climate adaptation, blah blah blah. So the question we must have to ask, so do we have enough revenue, or are expenditures within our capacity? Do we need outside financing? Are we creating future fiscal risks, etc.? So these are the distinction for among the three: balance, surplus, and deficit. So hindi natin kakalimutan yan. So kasi halimbawa, natanong yung tatlo na yan, 3 items. And then you are very close to becoming number 1, edi naging number 2 tuloy kayo dahil hindi niyo natandaan yan, di ba? Especially those people who are not from government. So yun yung mga risk natin na we need to, you know, humble enough to absorb learning. You should be like a sponge to, absorb everything, and you can squeeze out those you already parang nagkaroon na kayo ng ano to stock knowledge, so pwede nang ano yan kasi kayang-kaya niyo na yan, you don't need to memorize because even if kahit nakapikit kayo, you already know, you can answer correctly. So total resource and one fund concept, so nandun din very specific sa sa TOS kanina. If you manage to kanina, kung napakinggan nyo lahat yon, you can understand why I'm even talking about this one. So total resource budgeting involves accounting for all possible funding sources in government planning. Okay, and budgeting. So including national and local revenues, grants, loans, and special accounts. So it encourages comprehensive and integrated financial planning and ensures that the government's full fiscal capacity is considered when setting priorities and allocating resources. So in simpler terms, total resource budgeting means that government should not plan based only on one source of money. It must look the full range of available and potential resources before deciding what programs and projects can be funded. This includes regular revenues, external grants, loans, special funds, and other lawful sources. So it's important for environmental planning because many plans require multiple funding sources. For example, a drainage project, solid waste management, di ba? Lahat, resettlement program, yung mga mahirap na medyo long-term projects, or climate adaptation project may not, for example, they may not be funded by one office or one fund alone. So the planner must know all possible resources so that the plan becomes financially realistic and implementable. And the key idea is this: total resource budgeting helps government match its development priorities with all available financial resources so that planning becomes more integrated, more practical, and fiscally, responsible. And what is one fund concept? It requires that all government revenue be pulled into a single general fund. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. Did you notice before we held this lecture? Siguro for government people. So unless a specific law allows a separate fund for special purposes. So it also promotes effective, gawin ko ng mas payatin. So it also promotes effective financial control. Okay. Ano ba ito? Simplifies monitoring and strengthens accountability in the use of public funds. So in simpler terms, again, the one fund concept means that government money should generally go into one common fund instead of being scattered across separate accounts. And this makes it easier to track, control, and account for public funds. However, there are exceptions, di ba? May exceptions. Yung the word unless. So, kailangan, parang pangit ng fund. Okay. Unless, di ba? So, pag nakakita na kayo ng word na unless, so that should mean exception, that some funds may be kept separate when the law allows it, especially when the money is intended for a specific purpose. Examples include trust funds. Sige. Itong unless na to. Trust funds could be special accounts, could be also or funds legally earmarked for particular programs. Okay. So this concept is important because it prevents confusion, duplication, and misuse of funds. When public money is properly pooled and monitored, government can better determine how much is available, where it may be used, and whether spending follows the approved budget. So the key idea is that the one fund concept strengthens fiscal discipline because it treats public funds as part of one accountable financial system subject to legal rules and proper monitoring. So it's not absolute, okay? It's not absolute. So fiscal policy significance. Okay? Anong mga significance nito? Strategic allocation, that fiscal policy guides how government budgets are structured, and ensuring that limited resources are directed toward priority programs, projects, and sectors that deliver the greatest public benefit. So strategic allocation means that government should not spend public funds randomly or equally on all concerns. Since resources are limited, the budget must prioritize programs and projects that respond to urgent needs or respond to development goals and public welfare. So it's very important for us because a planner must help identify which projects should come first, such as drainage, ganon, over ganito. So fiscal policy helps ensure that money is directed to the most necessary and beneficial interventions. And so budgeting, therefore, as a key point, is a form of prioritization. Again, the key point is that budgeting is a form of prioritization, where government places its funds, shows what it considers important. So what is fixed costs as a significant fiscal policy? So adhering to sound fiscal principles maintains trust in the government's ability to meet its commitments and deliver essential public services consistently and efficiently. So fixed costs refer to regular and continuing obligations that the government must provide for, such as salaries, utilities, debt obligations, maintenance expenses, and other necessary operating costs. And these expenses must be considered before the government allocates funds for new programs or projects. And this is important because a government cannot promise new projects while failing to fund its basic obligations. So sound fiscal policy ensures that government or um, that ensures that essential services continue, and then employees are paid, and then facilities are maintained, and regular government functions are not disrupted. Okay, so and yeah, fiscal sustainability. We have the so one, two, three. Fiscal sustainability as a significant fiscal policy significance. So effective fiscal policy protects against excessive deficits and debt, helping to secure funding for future projects and obligations without compromising financial stability. So may keyword tayo doon, ano, without compromising financial stability. And so fiscal sustainability means that government spending should be manageable, not only today, but also in the future. A government may fund projects, borrow money, or create new programs, but it must make sure that these decisions do not create financial burdens that it can no longer support. So in our field, in environmental planning, this matters because many projects have long-term costs. For example, a waste management facility does not only require, like or drainage, or does not require money for construction, not only for construction, it also requires future funds for operation, maintenance, or staffing, repair, and monitoring. So the key point here is that good budget does not only ask the question, can we afford this now? But it also asks, can we sustain this in the coming years? So fiscal sustainability protects future services, future projects, and future generations from poor financial decisions made today. So we are now in section, kanina ay section D, 1.0. Ngayon, ito naman, 2.0. And this forms part of the 35%. So there are major sources of funds for the national budget. So tax revenues, manner of this one. So just to introduce to you that it's important because plans are not implemented by, what we intend alone, but, like we have CLUP, we have CDP, and the infra program, and etc. So it must have a lawful and available financing source. So without financing, even a well-prepared plan may remain only a document. In this section, we need to discuss the major sources of government funds, including tax revenues, non-tax revenues, grants, donations, and borrowings. And we will also distinguish national and local taxes, direct and indirect taxes, and domestic and foreign borrowings. And these concepts help us understand how government determines its fiscal capacity to implement public funds, public projects, I should say. So for the major sources of funds, we have tax revenues, of course, and it include income tax, or the value added tax, excise tax, and other taxes collected by the government. So, tax revenues. And what are and of course, tax revenues, these are the main and most regular source, of funds for the national budget. And these are compulsory payments imposed by law to support government operations, to support public services, infra, social programs, environmental protection, and development projects, among others. And for example, income tax comes from, Alam natin yun, ano? It comes from individuals and corporations. So VAT is collected from the sale of goods and services, and excise taxes are imposed on specific goods such as fuel, tobacco, alcohol, and similar products. Okay, alam na natin yun, ano? And these revenues help determine how much the national government can fund in a given year. So the key point is that tax revenues provide the government with its regular fiscal base. And without sufficient tax revenues, the government may have difficulty funding its programs and projects. And compared with non-tax revenues, uh, it said it includes fees, service charges, profits from government-owned and controlled corporations or GOCCs, and grants. So non-tax revenues are government income that does not come from taxes. Ganun lang yan. And this may include all this one that I've just mentioned. And so they serve as what? These revenues supplement tax collections. Okay. So they may not always be as large or as predictable as taxes, but they still help finance government programs and services. And for example, government may collect service fees from public facilities, or permit fees from regulated activities, or income from government corporations. So the key point is that non-tax revenues widen the government's funding sources, but they must still be legally collected, properly recorded, and used according to budgeting and audit rules. While borrowings here, these are funds obtained through domestic or foreign loans to cover budget deficits. So meron siyang goal to cover budget deficits. And borrowings are used when government expenditures exceed available revenues or when large projects require financing beyond current income. So these may come from domestic sources, such as treasury bills, such as treasury bonds, and loans from local financial institutions, or from foreign sources such as loans from foreign governments or international institutions. So borrowings can be useful for major infrastructure, disaster recovery, or as an economic stimulus or long-term development projects. However, it must be managed carefully because borrowed money must be repaid with interest. So excessive borrowing may create debt burdens for future budgets. And the key point is that borrowing is a financing tool and not free money. It allows government to fund urgent or large-scale needs, but it must comply with legal requirements and remain fiscally sustainable. I think that's the key words. It should remain fiscally sustainable. So we have the 1987 Constitution, the Administrative Code, the National Internal Revenue Code, as amended by and then we have meron siyang amendment, and then the annual GAA or the annual GAA. Because while the annual General Appropriations Act authorizes the national government to spend public funds for the National Internal Revenue Code governs national internal revenue taxes, while the annual JA authorizes. Okay, iba yung role. It authorizes the national government to spend public funds for specific programs, projects, and activities. So, legal basis and tax revenues. Ano na natin ito, alam na natin ito, no? So, classifications of revenues and taxes. So I think that you know what tax revenues are, and then you know non-tax, and you know national versus local, and the legal basis. So this is something na on your part, and in the context Okay. Um, is the reason why I was compelled by myself, not by you, for me to do some summary. Usually nung araw, when the review is done face to face, for example, yung buong NEDA, buong provincial government, um, usually nagkakaroon kami ng exercise or na parang recitation, pero wala tayong oras. So, you need to memorize this one. And so, yung summary for each topic is done. Yun na yung parang manner ng isang reviewee to evaluate kung kaya mo bang isummarize ang isang topic in a one pager note. But I did it all for you para lang to make sure na I can assure na lahat kayo makakapasa. So that's my only goal. Kasi it will hurt me kapag hindi kayo makapasa. Ganun. Masama din yung loob ko. Ganun. So, yeah, and that's what I always pray na sana lahat kayo mas mabilis yung absorption nyo and that you really need humility, even after passing the boards. So, ito, it said dito sa legal basis natin, dapat today, alam mo na, memorize mo na lahat yan, ano yung title niya. Di ba nakita pa ninyo sa kanito doon sa infographics, So, so there may be some corrections there, pero bahala na kayo mag-correct. So, alangan na sasabihin nyo pa sa akin, Ma'am, there's correction. Oh, really? And then I have to edit the infographics. Hindi na, no? Kayo na yon. So, because sometimes meron din, especially if I get too tired and sleepy also. So, you do your part. Kapag may mali, kayo na yung mag-correct. You just inform me about it. Pero not compel me to do it, okay? So, itong local government code, we know, that is the main, for especially for local government, because it governs the taxing and revenue powers of LGUs, and it also authorizes LGUs to impose certain local taxes and charges subject to the limits and procedures provided by law. This is relevant when we discuss local taxes such as business taxes, real property taxes, community taxes, regulatory fees, service charges, and other local revenue sources. You have to know that those covered by the local government code kapag nagbo-board exam kayo. And then yung naman, National Internal Revenue Code as amended. Okay. It is also the main law governing national internal revenue taxes. I mentioned earlier, it includes income tax, value-added tax, excise, percentage tax, documentary stamp tax, estate tax, donors tax, and other national taxes administered by the BIR. So the BIR's tax code page reflects that the NIRC has been amended by later laws, including the train law, di ba? Meron tayong train law and RA 11256, RA 11976. Ito, connected ito. So alam dapat natin yan. The RA 12006 here, ano yun? Parang mali. Create pala, yung sa create. Okay. 11534. Create Act. Sorry. Yes. It amended yung Create More Act, which further amended the NIRC, and the Create Framework on taxation and tax incentives. So, and nakakalito ito no? So, later amendment na kasi yung CREATE Act tsaka 12006 eh. Later law na ito eh. So, um, so the local government tells us what LGs may collect and how local government revenue powers are exercised. The NIRC, as amended, tells us what national taxes may be imposed and collected. So these laws matter because government projects must be financed through lawful sources, whether from national taxes, local taxes, fees, charges, grants, or borrowings. So in planning, it's not enough to ask what project should be implemented. We must also ask where money will come from and whether sources of money is legally authorized, and that's why the legal basis for revenues and taxes are part of government project financing. um Kailangan ma-memorize nyo. Kasi sa board exam, they will ask this. Okay, 10,963. So, A, B, C, D. Pag hindi nyo maalala si Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion or the TRAIN Law, -1 na kayo doon. And then, babalik na rin natin. Paano kung increase in excise tax on tobacco, on what is that RA? So ito naman yung hahanapin mo. Good if you are aware of other law of the other RA. Siyempre RA lahat yung ABCD. Good if yung tatlo na yon kabisado mo, and yung natitira hindi mo kabisado, and that should match the question, di ba? So you don't have any choice but memorize this and memorize that. So you should have a technique to do that. 10,963, paano kaya yan? So basta yung mga later laws, 11. Puro 11 lahat sila, 11. Look for the date siguro. And then yung 10 lang is ito. So yung train law. So at least yun medyo may na kayo, may inkling or meron na kayong technique, yung 10. Yun lang yung train law under the legal basis for what we are talking about. Budgeting. So, domestic and foreign public borrowing. So we also have to know about domestic borrowings. Kanina, I already mentioned it. Of course, domestic. Why the word domestic? So you have already a keyword. These are sourced from within the country, such as treasury bills, bonds, and loans from local banks. Loans from local banks. So, paano yun? TB, kamo na lang di ba? TB, treasury bills. Another B. And loans from local banks. Siyempre dapat domestic na nga eh. And then sasabihin pa, A, and loans from foreign banks, di ba? Tapos kinorek mo yun, kaya nga domestic di ba? Domestic borrowing. So, ibig sabihin local banks. So, yun yung ginagamitan natin ng ng common sense. So, kaya na ba ito? TBBL, Treasury bills, bonds, and loans. I'm not guaranteeing na lalabas ito, pero at least man lang, and you will forever remember that. Kasi, kung hindi kayo nag-review, ay baka mahirapan din kayo na tandaan ang mga ito. And so, foreign borrowing, source from external entities, so external, and then yung within, di ba? Or internal. So, siyempre, foreign governments, kasi pwedeng foreign government magpahiram. So, and then, the multilateral institutions. Pwede yung bilateral. Ayun, ay, iba yata yun. So, at least, sino ang mga yan, di ba? Multilateral, mga sino? World Bank, ganon. Or yung mga ADB, UNDP. So, okay. Now, for the foreign borrowings are sourced from external entities, blah, blah, blah. And it means that the government obtains funds from outside the country, and this may come from foreign governments, international financing institutions, or multilateral development institutions. So, meron tayong ODA, di ba? Meron ODA official, di ba meron akong infographic that I also gave you, yung NEDA or DepDev. So you need to look, kasi madami ding questions on NEDA. Kapag wala kayong makitang DepDev, edi NEDA ang isagot ninyo, di ba? Kasi bakit mo hanapin yung DepDev kung old question pala yung na-generate ng computer ng PRC or PRB. Oh, tapos sabihin mo sa Proctor, Ma'am, NEDA is no longer the current name of it should be DepDev. Wala dito. Really, di ba? Di isagot mo yung NEDA kung ano yung nandun. Focus on ABCD unless iba yung context. Okay, and then you report to the proctor. Don't look for letter E. ABCD na nga lang, maglalagay pa kayo ng E. There are some reviewists na ganun kapiloso po. Hanapin pa yung wala, di ba? So you will be at stake, you will be in a very difficult position pag ganun, hindi kayo makakapasa, I'm telling you. Kapag ganyan kayo ka-toxic. ODA. So, saan ba ako kanina? That examples include loans or official development assistance for ano yung ino-ODA natin? Pwedeng infra, official development assistance yan na. Infra, pwede rin yan na na DRR or disaster recovery or climate adaptation, pwede rin yan. CCA. And then, pwede din yung transport. Yan, ino-ODA yan. Transport. Ano pa? Water systems. Yan. Or other development projects, so others. Okay? So, the constitutional rule is important here under article, ano yung kanina? Article 7, Section 20 of the 1987 Constitution. The President may, baka lalabas ito the President may contract or guarantee foreign loans on behalf of the Republic only with the prior concurrence of the Monetary Board. Okay? And subject to the limits provided by law. So, the Monetary Board must also submit a complete report of its decision to Congress. You get that? So, RA 4860 ito. RA 4860. Ano na yan? Foreign Borrowings Act. Authorizes foreign loans and credits for approved economic development purposes or projects. So, RA, ito, sorry. Yan, kabisaduhin nyo lahat ito itong laws na to. 8182 or the Official Development Assistance Act of 1996. It was amended by RA. So, sige, gagawan ko kayo ng infographics, pero mag-thumbs up kayo Ibig sabihin, pag hindi kayo nag-thumbs up, ay hindi nyo kailangan yon. So, ibig sabihin, kabisado nyo na lahat, and ibig sabihin, malabo yung infographics ko at hindi nyo makita, bulag kayo, ganon, pwede rin yon. Pero pwede naman sa cellphone I was asking Sir Adolfo kung nakikita ba sa cellphone. Kasi pwedeng one side lang, ganun na lang. Ano na yan dyan? Yung i-zoom. Ganon, zoom out, zoom, i-zoom lang ninyo, makikita nyo na yon. Huwag niyong isnabin yun, baka yun din ang it will make you number one. Oh. So, Official Development Assistance Act of 1996 is amended by, nag-amend? RA 8182. So, connected yan, 8182. Ay, 85, sandali, saglit. I will clean this para kahit man lang ito yung matandaan natin today, na 8182 is the Act of 1996. Ito. And then, all the Act yan of 1996 as amended. By RA. Napakahirap talaga mag-memorize, 8555. Okay. So, it deals with all the loans and grants intended to promote sustainable social and economic development and welfare. So, yung 4860 naman, Foreign Borrowers Act. Nandito ba yung 8555? Tandaan niyo. So, ODA. Yung mga hindi nag-a-attend ng mga RDC, of course, it will be very difficult for you to understand itong pinagsasabi ko ngayon, But I'll try to, again, to make some infographics about this one. And all borrowings require legal authorization, adherence to constitutional and statutory limits, and must undergo review by the Monetary Board and Congress. O baka tanungin niya na, so yung review process ay dalawang institution, Monetary Board and Congress. So the transparency and responsible debt management are required by law. Okay. So this part should be, so for foreign loans, it's telling us that the Constitution expressly requires the prior concurrence of the Monetary Board and Congress that does not necessarily approve every foreign loan in the same way that the Monetary Board concurs, but it receives the required report and exercises oversight through lawmaking, appropriation, inquiry, and debt policy. So, and the reason, it said borrowing, foreign borrowings require legal authority, di ba? And the reason is that borrowing is not free money. So, kala na lang, kapag nag-borrow ka na, hindi mo na babayaran yon. So, whether domestic or foreign, borrowed funds create future obligations. Okay? I'll repeat that. Whether domestic or foreign, borrowed funds create future obligations, and the government must eventually repay the principal, the interest, and related costs. So, and that's why borrowing must be tied to lawful public purposes, sound fiscal policy, transparency, and the government's capacity to pay. And it's relevant because sa atin, ang maboboard, particularly the competency on classifying domestic and foreign public borrowings and debts, including the legality and process of obtaining them. So borrowing is a legitimate financing tool, but it must be lawful, it must be purposeful, transparent, and sustainable. So a project may be development-oriented, but if the borrowing is not legally authorized or fiscally responsible, it may create long-term burdens instead of public benefits. Sorry for the noise. Okay. So, ayan, importante din yan, nilagay ko, so that, that haste can lead to poorly designed projects, diba? And it will lead to unfunded projects, irregular expenditures, or unsustainable borrowing. So, but diligent planning, allows government to identify priorities, determine available resources, authorize spending properly, and implement programs responsibly, and of course, account for the results. So it's very fitting that this quote is fitting way to close this discussion today. If you have time, we can still meet tonight. Just discuss it with Jen. Okay, para so that makagawa ulit ako ng infographics for this. Di baka ma-overburden na sila, Jen? Screen. Okay. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you for the heart. Kung ganyan sana kayo, di ba? Di ako high blood, di ba? Chat. Ano to? Yung chat natin. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Oo.